It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. That's the Eagles harmonizing the way they do. Mm-hmm. It is Tuesday, June the 27th. All right, I got one for you.
Yeah.
Have you ever been at a store? It could be a Target, it could be a TJ Maxx, it could be a Dillard's for that matter. Any store, and you're looking around, and you go, man, this store is crappy.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a experience this is.
Yeah.
There's a good chance you're not alone in that to just hit the ground running with this topic, but I feel compelled to share with you that stores like TJ Maxx and Target specifically apparently have what is known as, in quotes, a laxative effect.
Oh, yeah. You mean literally crappy?
Literally crappy stores. There are thousands of comments on a story online about people saying, yes, I go into Target, I go into TJ Maxx. There's a few other stores, Ross, Barnes & Nobles, even Home Goods. And people immediately have the realization that nature is calling. And it ain't for a little trickle.
What the?
Nature's calling. It's time to drop a deuce before you get your shopping done.
That's weird.
Yeah, like somebody put a post up like, is this just me? And it's like, oh, no, it's not at all. And I thought that one of the theories is that people get an adrenaline rush from being in their favorite store. They throughout the week, they're like, well, I got to get some stuff. I'm going to go. I got to wait till Thursday. You know, you've managed, you have, I should say, planned this trip. And then you finally get there, and it's something you've been looking forward to. You've been planning. You've been thinking about what you need to get. And then you walk in. And you see one thing, and right away there's an impulse buy possibility, and you're like, oh, my God, I didn't even think, and I got to run to the bathroom. Has this ever happened to anybody here?
Yeah.
Is this – I mean, I've used the restroom in a public place, but I don't recall it having I don't have any Pavlovian when I walk into a specific store of any sort or restaurant where I go, you know what's going to happen here, don't you?
My friend Vicky just told me this about a year ago. I'd never heard it before. Every time she goes into a Target, she has to go number two. I'm like, why are you telling me this? But apparently, yeah, it's
my
a real
answer
thing.
would be, why haven't you told me this? That's a fascinating thing to think about. What a bizarre. The only thing I know, I don't have this situation. This doesn't happen to me. I mean, I'm thinking about, okay, if I'm at the airport right before I get on a plane, I go take a leak, just even whether I have to or not. There's things that just you manage to make sense of your day, but the unconscious, not meaning to, not thinking twice about it, walking into any place on earth and suddenly feeling like I got to go. I mean, maybe I could see someone saying every time I go to Cirque du Soleil, I've got to drop one. That's exciting. I'm going to go watch a contortionist at 30 feet off the ground, like eat a hot dog with their nose. Yeah, that might make me excited, but going into a box store?
I don't value shopping that much. I wouldn't say there's a rush of adrenaline. I'm trying to think of some place I'd be excited to walk into, like a ski shop or a motorcycle dealership or something that might really get me a little fired up. But there again, I don't remember even dropping a deuce at any of those places. Maybe at home, sometimes I get myself into a little shopping frenzy. I get excited about buying something, but that's at home, so it's you just go. This is dumbfounding.
Every time a Twins hit a home run, every time the ball leaves the yard, I got to race to the bathroom. That's a bizarre one. Tony, I can't believe you actually have a friend who just coughed that up last year.
Yeah, my friend Vicky. I thought that was very, very odd. But it's true.
Not that weird.
It's not that weird?
No.
What do you mean?
Because
Does that happen to you?
Yeah, it's like if you get excited and you have something. Yeah, it's happened to me a lot. I had an emergency situation in the electric fetus, like when I was 12 years old, and I'll never forget. But it's like right when I walked in, I was like, look at all this cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you get a little overstimulated. Well, I have a buddy, JP, Joe out there, Purple Joe, I sometimes call him. He's a psychotic Vikings fan. But anyway, yeah, he has a thing where his is anxiety, though, because every time he gets on a plane, he will sit, as you sit around there in the waiting room or you go to the bar to have one before you fly because you're suddenly there 45 minutes before you board.
Yep.
JP, sits in the bathroom the entire time. And because, he just has to and he can't go. But the moment he steps on the plane, boom. the baby drops, as he calls it.
Oh, no.
And it's time to go. And now he has to wait till the plane gets up to a certain altitude, and then he has to get out and then right away be the first one to stink up an entire plane. So that's an anxiety thing, but that's not a shopping thing. Candace got overstimulated, a little excited. That's a different thing.
Well, Joe's overly stimulated too, just in a different avenue.
Yeah,
certainly.
Right.
I wonder if in the study if this happens to single people more or married people more, because once they're in the store, maybe it's this time of freedom, unencumbered, not bothered. They can have the place to themselves.
Wow. Okay, Tony with a little marital insight right there.
A reason.
I'm thinking your buddy back to Purple Joe. Maybe his. You think about the Pavlovian. Look, Dr. Pavlov, when his dogs ate, he'd ring a bell. Maybe that 10,000-foot ding on the plane, ding. Maybe that's what he just needs. He just needs to get that sound in his phone. And at home, a couple hours before he heads to the airport, he just needs to hit that ding, that specific airport with the sound, ding.
Yeah.
And then have a pilot, somebody you could record things up where you're like, from the cockpit, and then he would just boom, and then he's taken care of. You can do a little more for your buddy, is what I'm saying.
Well,
get more proactive with his probiotic situation.
I feel like I've let him down now somehow, but
I just realized, I don't have a place I go where I feel compelled to drop trowel. But several times in my life, this is a weird one, and maybe this is does anyone else relate to this? Different times in my life where I'm involved with a lot of stamps, and I'm trying to think of when this would be. I get like a
1990.
Party invitation back in the day, or a high school graduation. You're sending out. That's probably what the last time for me.
Thank you notes.
But or the announcements or whatever. Anytime I'm at a table and I got 100 envelopes in front of me and a book of stamps, if I lick more than 10 stamps, I gotta go. There's something in the stamps.
What?
Yeah. No, seriously. And I've put this together, but it's been so long since I've done it. But I'm actually annoyed at myself now that in times when I feel constipated, I got to remember, just go get a book of stamps.
Oh my God.
Just go lick a bunch of stamps.
Be a chemical in there.
Okay, I didn't say I had kidnapped puppies. I just have a thing with stamps, Candace. You don't have to be that horrified.
It's weird, but we accept you as you are.
I appreciate that.
Well, that's what killed George Costanza's fiance.
Yeah, that's true.
That's exactly right. And what they did, probably intestinal blockage, because she didn't have she didn't have the same great graces I have, which is when I got a problem, the U.S. Postal Service has my back.
Don't you screwed? Don't you have to raid someone's stamp collection now? Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't bought a stamp in nearly 20 years, but aren't they stick now? I mean, so they're
you don't have to lick them.
You don't have to lick them anymore. So you're screwed. I don't know if they.
That was a 1939 Orville Wright stamp you licked. Sorry, man, I had to go. I don't care about your stamp collection, you weirdo.
It's been a couple of days.
I am blocked up. I am backed up. I have got a significant roadblock situation. And you just happen to have a 1939 Orville Wright Ohio stamp.
Yeah.
What of it? It says 2 cents.
It's still good.
It's worth $1 million unlicked. Well, sorry.
Unlicked.
Let me tell you something. The release I just had, priceless.
Yeah. You can't put a price on that. Maybe it's adhesive. Maybe try Elmer's glue. Were you ever a glue eater? Did I ever do anything for you?
No, I did. No, I've seen some kids eat paste back in the day, man. Just like. There were kids in kindergarten. Everything just went right in the mouth.
I don't know. I wonder if now I just kind of want to ask people, what's your trigger effect? What's cheap beer? Or what does it for you? Well, tap water.
What opens up all the lines? 2 lines, no waiting. What happens?
Weird things that happen to you in public.
Sure.
Some triggering effects. Weird things. Compelling things. First of all, I want to know about the laxative effect. Does that happen? Do people walk into stores? Well, there's an entire story on it now. I'm looking on BuzzFeed.
Well, we've got a few more hours to track down Tony's friend Vicky to get some insight on this.
Okay,
I'll get her on.
Let's get her on. I want to hear about this.
In the meantime, we'll call up Mike Evans, get ourselves a little Hollywood report.
Poor unsuspecting woman just going about her morning business. She's about to get her call from her old friend Tony. Call the show and talk about your weird.
She's in L.A. too. It's 2 hours earlier.
Oh, even better.
I'm texting JP right now.
Mike Evans' Hollywood Report begins now. Good morning, Michael.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. So you got $5 Tuesdays over at Marcus Theaters. Today's Taco Tuesday, and while you're driving to get a taco and then to the movies, wear your sunglasses. It's National Sunglasses Day.
Did not know that. I always appreciate you letting us know what day it is.
Yeah. What kind of sunglasses do you have?
I couldn't even tell you. It's been a while since I've worn any.
God, I have Maui Jims, and I've had the same pair for 15 years.
Okay, watch your mouth. What'd you say? Maui Jims. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
Despite him dying 46 years ago, Steve, Elvis Presley just won't die when it comes to Hollywood.
Well, he's the king for good reason.
I guess so. There's this guy named David Stanley. He is Elvis Presley's stepbrother. Apparently he's broke, so he's pitching a documentary. He says that Elvis actually committed suicide because he was so ashamed of all the young women, some who may have been underage, that he had sex with. Elvis couldn't live with them, so he committed suicide.
Slow rolling suicide by constipation.
Yeah,
that is a man looking for atonement.
Just total bullshit.
Wow.
By the way, Priscilla Presley turned down 2 huge offers after Elvis died. She was offered the lead role in Charlie's Angels and Dallas. Turned them both down.
Is that what she says, or did someone else say that?
That's what she says. Yeah. One more, by the way, a biography drama musical called Priscilla has been shot. It's in the can. Story of Elvis and Priscilla. It's directed by Sofia Coppola. But so far, no theater operators are interested in it.
Wow.
I guess maybe Netflix, Amazon, or Hulu.
I was all set to roll my eyes, but Sophia, she's good.
She is good. Yeah.
So there's probably something worthwhile in that endeavor.
And what you said apparently is true. The Elvis movie last year cost $85 million to make. It brought in over $300 million. So there's still some interest out there, I guess.
People like the guy. There's a new AI out of Elvis singing "Baby's Got Back" for crying out loud. And honestly, it's fantastic. Even fake Elvis can make anything sound great.
Wow. On the other hand, you got Meghan Markle, 37 years old, who gets her face in front of a camera every time she can.
Yeah.
She's represented by William Morris, as you know, the biggest entertainment agency in the world.
Not for long. You heard it here first.
CAA.
Someone. So she's a hot potato waiting to get dropped.
Her personal management company is the huge Sunshine Sachs. Her publicist is Archwell, another big company. But, Steve, despite all of them trying to secure her work, she has 0 zip offers. None.
Yeah. I'm not surprised to hear that. You know who's pulling strings in a way that William Morris could only hope to? The Windsors.
Oh, really?
Don't piss off the royal family. That's the lesson from Meghan Markle.
Well, for right now, I don't think Meghan Markle could hit water. She fell out of a boat. It's just not good.
When the head of Spotify podcast calls you a grifter and no one from Spotify says, "Hey, walk that back," you got an issue. You know what I mean? When Daniel Ek doesn't go, "Hey, man, you got to recount that," you got a problem.
Exactly. Hot movie rumor that a skinny John Goodman and a skinny Roseanne, they're talking about maybe them doing a road movie together. That might be kind of good. I don't know. What do you think?
I think if they put on the bibs and hit every barbecue joint from California to North Carolina, I'd watch that. I'd watch them expand back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Elton John final concert at Glastonbury on Sunday was also a pay-per-view in England, and I hear 7 million people paid to see it. That's got to be a record.
I'm not surprised at all, man.
It's got to be a record
for Elton to pull the plug. It's worthy of paying attention.
A little Hollywood and a little sports, which is right in Steve's wheelhouse. Ryan Reynolds paid millions and millions of dollars to buy into a Formula One team.
Ooh.
More and more celebrities are purchasing small percentages of sports franchises. Mm-hmm. Will Smith owns part of the 76ers. Justin Timberlake part of the Grizzlies.
Right.
Jay-Z part of the Brooklyn Nets.
Okay.
Bill Maher part of the New York Mets.
Wow.
And, of course, Eric Stonestreet owns part of the Kansas City Royals.
Why not?
Yeah.
Those fountains are nice. I mean, sorry about the baseball, but,
Yeah, their baseball team is hideous this year. But at least, most sports teams makes money, so there you go.
No, at the back end, sure.
And boy, the Twins lost again last night, but they are still in first place by one game. They're holding on by the skin of their teeth.
It's magic around here, Mike.
I'm waiting for those Vikings.
You and me both. I'm putting all my marbles on that new defensive coordinator. I'm getting ready to just have everybody in this city make fun of me for believing.
Can we start now?
Yeah, it's already started.
You got to believe, Boley. You got to believe.
That's a fact.
Have a great day. Talk to you tomorrow. See ya.
Thank you, Mike. The Mike Evans Hollywood Report, a daily fixture since 1907 on KQRS.
I like the fact that he keeps saying the Twins are in first place.
He's so excited.
Yeah, but they would be in last place in the other two divisions in the American League.
But see, that's why it's all about the cards you're dealt, baby. As a long-suffering Orioles fan, I'm so used to tuning out baseball by the end of June. It's like I'm like, wait a minute, man, my team's really good this year, and the Twins are in first. So I got two reasons to pay closer attention. After we get past the All-Star break, it's going to feel fresh, like baseball in August and September. All right.
That's right. You haven't been here for after the break baseball, have you?
Well, no. Hey, trust me. As an Orioles fan, I always say, like, are you guys still playing baseball? Like, usually, my birthday's in mid-August, and I'm always like, still baseball at my birthday? Wow, what a concept.
Yeah, right. Well, the 87 Twins, the first Minnesota team to give us a championship here, did it with the worst record of any baseball team in history at that time, the worst record in baseball. So, it can be done. You get hot at the right time. You get hot in September and make a run. And
as long
as you're sitting at the top of that division. But, all right, well, there you go. There's the hope we were looking for today.
Well, I appreciate you looking back to the 87 Twins, and it gives me an idea. How about we look back at a little bit more? On this day, June 27th, 1940, Jack Norworth attended a Brooklyn Dodgers game at Ebbets Field. It was Jack Norworth Day at Ebbets Field. It was the first time Jack Norworth had ever been to a baseball game in his life, and it was his day at Ebbets Field.
Sweet.
Why did they give him his day? Because 32 years earlier, Jack Norworth, having never seen baseball, wrote the song Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Oh. No kidding. He never saw baseball?
He had never been to a game. He saw an ad on a New York subway in 1908 that said Baseball Today Polo Grounds. And half an hour later, he had written the lyrics to a song about baseball. He just knew, incidentally, anecdotally, like, well, they have Cracker Jack and there's 3 outs. And he just pieced together a song and wrote it, and it became a huge hit, of course, and it was 32 years later before he ever walked into a major league ballpark, and he only did it when it was his day, literally Jack Norworth Day. Take Me Out to the Ball Game is estimated to be the third most commonly played song in the United States behind the Star-Spangled Banner and Happy Birthday to You.
Wow, did he make a ton of dough off that? I feel like it wasn't kind of a royalty thing back then. I
don't know if he did, but he it was copyrighted and then advertised in the New York Clipper. I got to think he made something.
All right.
At the very least, he got a nice Dodgers hat. In 1988, Michael Spinks entered the ring in Atlantic City. He was 31-0. 31-0. Inarguably the greatest light heavyweight of all time, and yet it took Mike Tyson exactly 91 seconds to obliterate the man. If you don't remember the Mike Tyson-Michael Spinks fight, if you've never seen it or just don't remember, it is astonishing to see the visceral fear Michael Spinks exhibited throughout the entire enterprise. Long before the bell rang for the first round, he was 31-0, and he stepped into a ring accepting already certain defeat, and it took 1 second over a minute and a half.
He crumpled.
Yeah, truly crumpled. It's amazing to watch now.
Jump on YouTube and watch the greatest hits of Mike Tyson's career.
Done that.
It lasts about a minute and a half. Each fight's about 10 seconds.
Yep.
One guy doesn't even backpedal away from him. He turns around and runs.
I think that the way to if you've signed the contract and you're getting paid, when the bell rings, just run at him.
Let's get this over with.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Tuesday, June the 27th. That was Steve Miller of the Steve Miller Band singing a song called The Joker. That was actually Steve Miller singing that song into a microphone, recorded on tape, analog, saved for all time. Wow. Steve Miller actually singing a song he wrote and intended to sing.
Wow.
Unlike all of the AI versions of songs we're hearing, and we can all decry and we can all piss and moan about the fact that AI is taking over the world, but every now and again somebody puts something together and I just have to laugh. And, Steve Miller singing The Joker, as I said, that's real. Yeah. Elvis Presley singing Baby's Got Back, it's not real, but it's real good.
Yeah, that is amazing.
I'm sure Priscilla Presley will sue for a piece of the profits now.
Well, there's going to be a lot of that. I mean, this stuff is flying around. Kids can do this on the old laptop, on their phone, for crying out loud. I just like the backup singers going, Baby got sprung.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Golly, man. I mean, if you could go back even 20 years and show somebody the world we're living in now, they'd go, yeah, it makes sense. It's just been a downhill run since the minute someone figured out how to make a phone call.
I know, right? I mean, it's the internet, computers, microchips have kind of set the imagination free, but now it's no holds barred. Now there are literally no limitations on your imagination. Think it, you can create it.
I knew the human race was doomed when those bastard Wright brothers flew down at Kitty Hawk. It was just a matter of time. Next thing you know, we got a man on the moon, and after that, we got Elvis singing hip-hop classics.
If God wanted man to fly, would have given him wings.
You're damn straight. And if God had wanted man to, evacuate his own bowels at his own pace, he wouldn't have sent him into box stores and gotten him so excited. For everyone going, what the hell are you talking about? There's a laxative effect at stores like Target and TJ Maxx. It's not just you. It's a lot of folks. People get very excited when they go into their favorite stores. That's the word on the street, and we've been discussing that a little bit today. There's a KQRS Facebook post up. What sort of are there any quirks? Do you got anything like that in your life where you maybe probably didn't wake up this morning thinking you'd want to share that with us, but if you do, if it comes around where you're like, you know what, actually, yeah, I got that. What are some bathroom triggers? Weird stuff that happens in public. When the Twins, every time a member of the Twins strikes out, do you have to pee? I mean, come on. What is it?
Right.
Lay it on me.
I don't know. Teresa, this doesn't count. Went to my brother-in-law's wedding, was so drunk I pissed my pants. No, Teresa, that's
just called being drunk.
That's a cause and effect.
That's just called being really, really, really drunk.
Right, yeah.
But Zepp, you also mentioned before the last break, it's a tough subject, the end of one's life, but a lot of people, the lucky ones we say, die in the place of their choosing. For most people, that's home. The idea of going to a hospital, right, being hooked up, and all, that can be pretty traumatizing to think about. And there's always the idea of, well, I just want to die at home. That's where I want to be, which again makes a lot of sense, unless, of course, you live alone and have pets.
Yeah.
Ooh, baby. Does it not make sense? And does it take a bad turn real quickly?
I know.
Every now and again, people think, you find yourself thinking like, well, I mean, and I've taken a look at Chauncey before, and I've thought, we're here alone. Maybe my wife's out of town. And I think, what if something happens? What would he do? And I think, gosh, he would bark. Maybe eventually he'd have to just go to the bathroom. Maybe a neighbor would smell something and come and find me. No, that's not really what I should be concerned with. Check this out. A writer for National Geographic looked at cases where people died alone in their homes to determine whether or not, that's right, their pets would eat them. And it turns out that way more often than not, the dogs, they go right back to the what's the word I'm looking for? Undomesticated wild wolf era. 24% of cases where a person died alone with a dog, the dog started to eat them within a day.
A day?
No way.
Within a day.
They couldn't even make, for crying out loud, so much for that my best friend crap.
Maybe that's a part of it. It's like, you gave me everything. Now the least I can do is dispose of you responsibly. and by the way, it's not like the dogs don't have food accessible to them. But so basically, all of this to say, Candace, watch it with Gigi.
I mean, I don't think she would, but She does lick me a lot.
She looks. Yeah, it's called moisturizing, tenderizing.
Right, exactly. She wants a little taste. What's the good cut here? Is this the best? Is this the best piece?
Gosh.
Is this the best piece?
She's basting you. Yeah. Obviously, if you got cats or if you got a house full of cats, you know what's going to happen. I mean. We had 2 cats. We're down to 1 cat right now, Milo. He's the sweetest. He is the sweetest boy cat that ever lived. He just wants to love and cuddle and purr. And I give him 10 minutes with my dead body before he's like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to get in there. I'm going to get a bite of that. Because cats are just evil at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. No matter how sweet he is, he's still a cat. I don't trust him.
Yeah, we know this about cats, but there's just still something, very alluring, very... just precious about cats. People want to have a cat. That's cool, but we know what cats are up to. But dogs, for crying out loud, I really bought into that best friend stuff. But like you said, maybe that's their idea. They are dogs, for crying out loud.
Sure.
Maybe their idea is, you're such a good friend of mine, I'm just going to eat you. I'm not going to let you just sit there and rot away. How about this one? You didn't see this one coming, did you? I started just Googling then stories where pets ate their owners.
Right.
There are lots and lots of stories of pets eating their owners. This is the most bizarre one I found. The victim found dead in her home with unusual marks and wounds on her face. The woman died of pneumonia, but some of the marks on her face were arranged in pairs. After careful investigation, it was found that the woman owned a free-range golden hamster. When investigators looked in an inconspicuous open drawer, they found a ghastly sight: the hamster's burrow, its new home, made out of human skin, fat, and muscle tissue.
I have said on this very show at least a dozen times, watch out for the hamsters.
Yeah, those little bastards.
What makes a hamster free range?
You just no cage, I guess, right? You just let the hamster roam free, because otherwise it would have been in the cage and, just died there in the cage. But this person let their hamster run free.
Hamster.
They just start,
He's a hamster. Put him in a bathtub and he thinks it's Arizona. I got all the space I need. Oh my God. I don't trust any of them. Hamsters, gerbils, guinea pigs. I walk into PetSmart looking for some dog food. I walk past those little things and I look at them all and I'm like, I don't trust any of you. You're just, I look at you and I look at the iguanas. It's all the same thing. Because any of you would get in my shoe, and it would freak me out in the morning when I go to put that bad boy on.
Man.
That's how I look at it.
God, there's a story about a dog that 3 days after the owner died in the home, his head, neck, and part of his arm were completely defleshed.
Yeah, Gigi, nice.
Within
nice.
3 days, he just right to work.
Watch it, Candace. That's all. We're concerned for you.
Me too.
You too, exactly.
Well, let's hope these owners were at least dead. Yeah, let's hope they were dead first. What if you're just, not quite gone, just incapacitated a bit in that, tweener land, and the dog's just going to town on your neck, deboning you,
even more. Like, Candace, you went to see a big EDM show over the weekend. you were, I'm sure that means you were what? There was ecstasy involved. There was copious amounts of white wine for some reason. That could have been Gigi's moment.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And think about poor Gigi. If you have all those drugs in your body and she's eating your flesh.
She's high as a kite.
Selfish.
Yeah, you could potentially kill Gigi. Think about that.
I will next time.
Man, that's insane. Tony, we've got some text messages, I believe, going back to folks who tend to get triggered in public, not from their animals eating them, but from the excitement that box stores bring or something along those
Their
lines.
trips to the store. Paul H. says, every single time I go to Walmart and Cub, even had to buy underwear at Walmart once.
Really?
Right.
Every single time. That was the word. Every single time at Walmart and Cub.
Scott from Northfield says, Perkins is my trigger. It never fails.
Oh, well.
Perkins.
Hey.
Get away from those silver dollar pancakes. I can't hold myself.
Oh, man. That's nuts.
What in the world is it about I like the Walmart and Cub combo. I wonder if just Walmart or just Cub does it a little bit, but then you put the two back to back and it's all she wrote. Wow.
It always happens to me in stores that don't have public bathrooms. So then I have to go up to the lady I'm really sorry. I know you guys don't have a bathroom, but this is an emergency. Like that whole deal.
Yeah, I'm sorry, ma'am. This is a tape store? We have masking tape. We have packaging tape. We have duct tape. I don't know what this bathroom thing is you're talking about.
Tape you shut.
Candace walks into the kiosk at the mall where they're making keys. Do you have a bathroom?
Yeah. Although I will look for a nice store, someplace I wouldn't normally shop, like a nice women's clothing store or something like that. If I'm driving along and I
like
really
say a
gotta
Maurice's,
go.
Minnesota's most beloved home brand.
And now I get it. Now I know why. Because they have the nicest bathrooms in there. First of all, guys don't shop in there, so the bathrooms aren't a complete disaster, right? So, yeah, definitely if I'm tooling along and it's time to go, am I going to take the convenience store on the left side of the street? I know what's going on in there. I know what people are doing in there. Or over here, I've got a Maurice's. Not a lot of guys go into Maurice's. Guess what that bathroom's like? Nice spick and span. Not a lot of people crowding the joint. So,
and then you come out with a pair of chinos that's to die for.
Not for me, personally.
Well, maybe not in public.
I don't know. Something lacy underneath. Just during the summer months. I sweat a lot. I feel like they just breathe.
Well, whatever it takes to get the in private, behind closed doors, sensitive Zepp to show himself.
Yeah, no
whatever
doubt.
it takes. Hey, 92KQRS has your shot to win free gas for a year. Listen weekdays at 9, 2, and 5 for your keyword to text to win $92.50 in free gas. Plus tickets to an upcoming show at the Medina Entertainment Center, and you will be entered to win free gas for a year. Sponsored by Body Gastroenterology and Quick Trip.
It's all just dovetailing together this morning, isn't it?
It's perfect.
Although we're going to, at 7:30 here, we have the game show at 8 o'clock. So at 7:30 here, janitors. I mean, the really unsung heroes, right? They do the dirty work.
100%.
Away from, we don't know what's going on. They're just getting the job done. We just walk into a nice, clean, spick and span, whatever it is, business you're rolling into. Every once in a while, they really screw up. And we have a story of a janitor that really screwed up coming here at 7:30. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show, Tuesday, June the 27th. Let's talk about, first things first, garbage men. Man, oh man, do you ever realize how much you take them for granted if they ever take a day off?
Oh, man.
For any reason, anytime the garbage piles up, everybody immediately says things like, we should pay those guys whatever they want. The garbage men of Paris, France all went on strike earlier this year. I know a few people over there, and I was texting them just to go, hey, is it really as bad as it looks? And every one of them wrote back, you cannot imagine what this city smells like right now. And you see the photos, and there's garbage just piled up on top of piles on top of piles. New York City's garbage men have gone on strike like 3 times in 100 years, and anybody in the city that was around talks about it like it was the, like the San Francisco fire of 1908 or whatever. It's a truly, it changes your entire universe. When the garbage piles up. When those guys are unhappy, they're unhappy. And I'm thinking of that as we move into this story. There are also people who we don't see often. If you work at a place like this, we come in every morning, the building's been cleaned. Someone comes in overnight, they do a hell of a job. I come in, I think about it all the time. Like, you go in the bathroom, it's spotless. There are janitors that work all those odd hours that most of us aren't aware of. They come in, they do their job. That is thankless work. Like, oftentimes, literally, because you don't see them. You don't see somebody on the cleaning crew to say thanks. And then even if you do, oftentimes it's just like, hey, man, how's it going? But, I mean, this is a job people sign up for, and they work their asses off, largely out of view of the public. And then occasionally, and almost sadly, only when they screw up does anyone notice.
It's like being an offensive lineman.
Exactly. Thank you very much. The right guard, I don't know. Who missed that block? And suddenly you've got that guy's home address. You're Googling it because you want to go throw something at him.
Now, John Madden would always say that. I didn't make all these guys' names is when they hold someone. All of a sudden the camera's on him. 69 was holding, and you're like, son of a, that was an 80-yard touchdown.
And I'm thinking of these much maligned or often overlooked members of our life, because a janitor, a cleaning company is being sued now because of what one of their janitors did at a research institute, the Rensselaer, I guess that's how you pronounce it, Polytechnic Institute. It's in upstate New York. You put the words poly and technic in a sentence together, I'm going to assume it's a place where real smart people go do weird stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lab in upstate New York, the Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, 3 years ago, a janitor was working there, and he was in what is known in the lab as a super cold freezer. A super cold freezer. Now, when a laboratory says the word super cold, that sounds like something you and I would say. That freezer's super cold. Well, the lab calls it that too, so you know it's cold. They have cell culture, samples, other research elements. This bad boy is sitting at minus 112 Fahrenheit just every day, day in and day out. But it also makes a beeping noise. It just makes a beeping sound. The janitor, while doing his work one day, was like, that sound is driving me crazy. And he made the decision to go over and simply unplug the super cold freezer.
What a freaking idiot.
He pulled the plug. He forgot to plug it back in when he finished his job.
Moron. First, don't come into my house to clean and unplug the freezer, for crying out loud, which would be the refrigerator freezer.
Yeah.
Don't do that. I have stuff in there, but in a Polytechnic Institute, is that what you said?
Yeah, research lab.
You unplugged the freezer.
He thought he was helping.
Please tell me there was some mutant in there that thawed and climbed out and killed him.
He did not thaw out a mutant dinosaur or something like that. No, but he did wipe out 25 years of research.
Oh, my God.
25 years of research.
Well,
one guy takes the hit for the whole cleaning crew. I mean, the whole industry's like, oh, seriously? Come on, man. It's bad enough just doing our jobs right.
How bad is the beeping, really? Get in there, wipe the place down, mop the floor, and get the hell out of there. I guess the reason it might have been beeping is to let everyone know that it's on all the time, because there's 25 frickin' years of research in there.
Yeah, you put again, like Polytechnic is a word I'd look at and immediately go, hold on. As are the words cell cultures. I just assumed keep those bad boys frozen.
Yeah, what's in there? The next.
Speaking of which, you know what else? There's a few words that I just immediately assign great respect to. Kelvin scale. That's one of those things. You learn about that in school. The Kelvin scale. It's 9 billion degrees below zero. Once you learn about absolute zero on the Kelvin scale, you're like, if I see anybody name Kelvin, I'm like, ooh, respect, bro.
Although you'd think a Polytechnic Institute, I'm fairly ignorant on this stuff, wouldn't just have your run-of-the-mill janitor, right? Just there might be a little, hey, we're going to have a half-hour class here, or
maybe,
just a little, hey, the stuff that beeps, don't unplug, please.
Also,
wipe this down.
You might think they would have a backup, like they would, in case of a power failure, there's no battery power, like you don't have a way to back this up, someone unplugs it. Yeah. How about one plug doesn't do the trick? You got 25 years of cell culture research. I'm just saying.
A little redundancy.
How about a Post-it note?
At the very least, a Post-it note.
Yeah, I think they did have a sign on this one.
Don't mind the beep. We've got cell cultures here. Quarter century of research.
Yeah. Still, don't unplug the beeping freezer in the Polytechnic Institute.
People make decisions on a regular basis that to them at the moment make perfect sense. And then later, and we've all done that. You've all done we've all done and said things that you'd stand up in court and go, no, this was the right thing, and then within an hour you're going, I cannot believe I thought that made sense.
Yeah.
Over the weekend in London, Pink, the pop star Pink, she's a ginormous star.
Sure.
She was performing a concert in London, and a fan. This was in Hyde Park, the Hyde Park Summer Concert Series. These are huge. These are 100,000 people in the middle of the field having a good time. And people, as they do, were throwing things at the stage. People throw shirts and, shoes and whatever. Just like, I love you. Here's a bottle of my piss. Whatever they throw at you in concerts in England when there's 100,000 drunk English people together. A fan threw a sealed plastic baggie that caught Pink's eye. And the fan let her know, those are me mum's ashes.
Oh, gross.
A fan brought her mother's cremations. What is it called?
Remains.
Cremains. A bag of cremains.
Well, another one of the cremains, please. Those are very tasty.
How has there not been a band called the Cremains?
Well...
and she threw them in a sealed pink baggie. They did not hit Pink, but she picked the bag up and said, wait, is this your mom? I guess the person somehow got that message across. She said, I don't know how I feel about this. She placed them a little out of the way in front of a speaker and then went back and continued the song.
Mom was a big fan.
Right. Thank God she didn't just snort it right away, thinking it was an 8-ball.
Here's something I would suggest. If your mom is a huge fan, and your mom literally looks at you and says, "When I'm going, I want you to take my cremains and throw them at Pink's feet, please." You know what you do? You hold your mom's hand. You say, "I love you," and you're damn straight I'm going to do it, and then don't do it.
And then don't do it.
She doesn't know. She's gone. You gave her what she wanted, as far as she knows. Don't bring someone else's ashes. Don't bring your mom's ashes to someone else's party. That's all I'm saying. Unless they ask for them. If Pink says, "I love you, London. Has anybody got any of your parents' cremains?" You know, that's fine. But she's up there just trying to put on a show for the good people.
Yeah, I mean, drop them on the ground. Get them inside the building. You don't have to share it with Pink on stage and weird everyone out.
It's very true. Again, even if the mom had requested that, you just don't go that far.
No.
That's not what Pink's there for. It's not what anyone's there for.
I mean,
if somebody's like, "Hey, listen, you know, when I'm gone, I'd like you to get some of my cremains over to the KQ morning show. Really, I just want to go give Steve some of those Ash Wednesday. Give him an Ash Wednesday cross on the 4th. No, don't. Here's the answer. No, I with all respect, I'm sorry you lost someone you love, but that's not cool. I don't want to know about that. I don't want my own family's cremains anywhere.
No.
Like, you put those somewhere and you look at them in the urn and then you reflect, but you don't bring them out in public. You don't throw them at somebody.
Well, there are no repercussions, from the great beyond. I know this because, I mean, people not following through on ashes. Do you know as many stories as I do about this? I know at least 3 friends. One friend, 7 years later, is getting his golf clubs out. I'm like, what the? He's like, yeah, that's so-and-so's ashes. I don't want to bust him here on the air. I know he listens. I said, what? I said, yeah, so-and-so's ashes. He wanted me to dump them out in California or something when I went golfing at Pebble Beach. I said, did you? He goes, yeah, but I forgot to bring the ashes. I wasn't flying with the frickin' ashes. They've been in there for 7 years. I'm like, what do you do with them? He goes, I don't know, just forget about them, I guess. But and I know several people that were supposed to dump them, but just, it's they're in the sock drawer now.
Wow.
Yeah.
You need some new friends. Well, man, sounds like a rough room.
I just, I take what I can get, whoever hangs around, but I'm not going to give them my ashes to go dump somewhere special.
I think about cremains, and I always go right back to February 20th, 2005, the day that the great Hunter S. Thompson slipped away from this mortal coil. I'm a giant Gonzo fan for many, many years. And, of course, Hunter Thompson, the very famous writer, he asked his friends to fire my ashes from a cannon, which Johnny Depp, to his credit, did just that. Spent like a few $1 million building a giant cannon on the grounds at Hunter Thompson's farm out there near Aspen. And they blasted that sucker's remains as high as they could go from a really, really strong, powerful, loud cannon. That's a good way to go.
It was a strong, powerful, loud cannon that brought it all to an end, a .44 Magnum, I believe.
That's exactly right. He said, yeah, I've had enough.
He took the Hemingway out.
Fred Bauer, that man invented Pringles potato chips. He had his ashes buried in a Pringles can. Original flavor Pringles.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, got you there. Why not?
Let's see. Carrie Fisher, her ashes are held in an urn that is shaped like a Prozac pill.
No.
The great, true. Yeah. The great Carrie Fisher.
That's her sense of humor all the way.
Fantastic.
All the way.
And I'm looking at a list. By the way, Luke Perry. Didn't know Luke Perry was no longer with us. That's a shock.
Yeah.
The guy from Beverly Hills 90210, Luke Perry.
He died during the filming of this last movie he did, and I'm completely blanking on it, and I just watched it, for crying out loud. But yeah.
Yeah, like 4 years ago. The guy had a stroke. I had no idea. He was an eco-friendly sort. He was buried in a mushroom burial suit that helps to break down the body that much quicker.
Oh, yeah. I've been hearing about this composting bodies. This is a big thing out in the Northwest in Washington and Oregon. It was, the Quentin Tarantino movie. He had a role in that, a cameo in that. And shortly after the movie actually came out, or maybe right before its release, I know it was part of that story. He passed away. No, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Boy,
the last one.
Tarantino tapped him for would have been the great comeback.
Yeah.
All of a sudden Luke Perry's back. Oh, that's sad.
Right,
I'm retroactively sad to hear we no longer have Luke Perry. Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah.
The great Elizabeth Taylor, of course, wrote down, when I go, you need to bring me to the service 15 minutes late. She's always fashionably late. And they did that. They said 10 a.m. and they waltzed that casket in at 10:15.
Why not?
Way to go, Liz.
Yeah.
Way to go out the way you went in.
I wonder how many of her husbands were at her funeral. She outlived many of them.
She certainly did.
Yeah, she did. Well, at least their dogs didn't eat them after they died. They had that going for them.
Well, they could have had a bite.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Tuesday, June the 27th, 2023. And man, have we got a lot of stuff going on around here these days. Friday, July 14th at the State Theater, the band Kansas will be appearing. A following Friday, July 21st, the 92 KQRS Rock the Boat 80s party. Whoo!
I always get, everybody dresses up for that.
Do they
It's one of
really?
those dress-up deals, dress up like the 80s. And I always dress like I normally do. Would you dress up like the 80s? I am. I'm wearing a T-shirt and jeans.
Yeah,
just like
that's
they
how
did in the
that goes.
1980s.
From the 80s.
Candace and Tony, they go all out. They bring a
Absolutely.
special look. Oh, yeah.
Join us, won't you?
Can I go with like a Whip It era Devo
Oh, my
vibe?
God. Yes,
if you
please.
do not, now everyone's going to be, including me, disappointed as hell.
All right. I got time. I can go rock that. I'll get the red, the flower planter hat upside down, whatever I'm trying to say.
I used to
There
have the
are 4 of
Devo
us.
plastic pompadour, the black plastic pompadour
Oh, you
hair.
did? Nice.
I had so much fun. And then my dad put it on one time and he was like balding with white hair. And he stood there and stared at himself in the mirror for like 20 minutes, reminiscing.
Back in the day when I had my own plastic hair. Oh, man. So that's going to be Friday, July 21st with Paddleford River Boats. We're going to launch from Harriet Island in downtown St. Paul for a night of drinks, free food, and Lucky's 13 Pub. Live music from Rough House. You can get tickets at 92kqrs.com. Or, you could win a game like, I don't know, the one we're about to play right now. And today's show, I mentioned the Kansas gig as well, because we're going to play a game right now with 2 callers, and the winner will be able to choose. Do you want to go see Kansas on July 20? Excuse me. Do you want to see Kansas July 14th, or do you want to join us for the Rock the Boat 80s party on July 21st? That, my friends, is a heck of a game. Tony, today's game is what exactly?
Oh, this is just so much fun.
Always be closing. Always be closing.
What are you selling?
Okay, what are you selling?
That was my sales pitch.
Really? That's your sales pitch?
So this is your sales pitch?
Here's the pitch.
Sales pitch, what we're going to do is test your powers of persuasion. Your sales skills will give you a concept, an idea, a thing, anything at all, and you have to sell us on it, the 4 of us, the benefits, why it's a good thing, kind of like Shark Tank, but we'll give you 30 seconds and then we'll vote on your pitches. Good luck, by gosh.
Fantastic. This is exciting. I'd say we've done this one other time. We were 1 for 1. This is a good one. So with that in mind, we've got 2 callers ready to sell us. Candace, who is salesman number 1?
Emily from Cottage Grove.
Emily, good morning. I should say salesperson or saleswoman, but it's Emily either way. Good morning,
Good morning. How are you guys?
We're great, thanks. We don't have to sell anything, so we're relaxed. How about you? You getting wound up? You ready to do this?
I'm excited, but I'm not much of a salesperson, I have to admit.
Oh, come on. I don't believe that at all.
Yeah, let's see what she's doing. She's lowering the bar.
Yeah, you've already said this.
You're selling yourself
That's right.
short.
Low expectations.
Well, Tony's going to set it up for you. And Emily, we wish you the best.
Thank you.
All right, Em, sell the 4 of us on the concept of why hats for dogs is a good idea. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Here's the pitch.
Here's your 30 seconds.
Go.
All right. Hats for dogs. It protects them from the rain. It saves their eyesight from the sun. It's fashionable. It comes in many different patterns. I mean, I could go on and on. I don't have a dog, but I imagine if I did, that I would always want him to be looking his best. You could get matching shoes. You could have a little fashion show with the dogs in the neighborhood.
Oh,
Fantastic.
Sounds great.
yes. Protecting from the rain. eyesight from the glaring sun. I mean, that applies to all of us as well. Well done. Fashionable. I love the way Emily said, I don't have a dog, but if I did, I'd want him looking his best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dapper dog.
Very strong. Dog fashion shows. Well done, Emily. You are a born salesperson.
Thank you.
You got it. Thank you. All right, so sit tight. We're going to bring on contestant number 2. Who is that contestant, Candace?
Tom from St. Anthony.
Tom, good morning.
Good morning, crew.
Are you ready to do some sailing?
If I had another cup of coffee, I could ace this, but we're going to improvise.
I believe in you. I believe in you. Let your adrenaline take the place of that caffeine, baby. Here we go. Tony?
Okay, you seem beverage-centric, so I'm going to give you this one. Sell us on why beer for breakfast is a good idea. Ready, sir?
Yes.
You can pour it on your Wheaties. You can drink it in the shower. You can drink it in bed. You can get your happy hour out of the way before you go punch in at the clock.
Now you're talking.
You can have all your friends over. You can all take this 3-day weekend that we've all been dreaming about. I don't even drink, but I talked myself into this. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Do you need any more?
2 seconds. Make your closing.
I don't know if we can top. Right. I don't even drink, but I've talked myself into it. That's pretty strong.
Boy, oh boy.
That's a good, strong finish. And man. So, okay, before we cast our votes, let me clarify something here. So I said, okay, the winner gets to choose which they want, the Kansas gig or the cruise. Now, at the risk of does that mean the runner-up gets the other, or it's just the okay? Yep. Okay, so no one's leaving empty-handed.
Everyone's a winner.
Yeah, okay, just making sure we knew that was what was happening before we moved on. So now, okay, Emily, she's got me looking for hats for Chauncey, and Tom's got me thinking that I already missed out by not having a beer yet. So well done, both of you. Where are we, gang? Let's start. Tony, what do you think?
Boy, as a doggy lover, and I'm picturing Lulu wearing a hat, I would never do that to her, but Emily was very persuasive, and I can see making that purchase.
All right, that's a vote for Emily. Wow. Okay, Candace, how you feeling?
Well, Gigi has a hat, not going to lie, so I feel that. And great job, Emily, but I just really like the shower beer reference Tom did, and I really appreciate his confidence, so I'm going to go with Tom.
Okay, fair enough. Zepp, what are you thinking?
Well, I feel like, Tom had the easier sell here, let's be honest.
Sure.
I loved Emily's enthusiasm, and she really laid it out there for me. I was looking from Tom, perhaps, the best reason to have a beer in the morning is to put up with your coworkers. But then, with the, hey, I don't drink, but I've talked myself into it, I'm going to go with the Tom vote. Both great job.
Yeah. I'm with you there. Both wonderful jobs. And as much as I love the idea of hat shopping for Chauncey, I too have to go with Tom. And he sold me by admitting he'd sold himself. We've taken a man off the wagon on the show, and that just gives you the power of the sales pitch. Tom, you are our winner today, 3-1. In a very close vote, closer than you might think. Congratulations, sir. So, Tom, you get the choice. Do you want to go see Kansas on July 14th, or do you want to be on the KQ Rockin' the 80s cruise on July 21st?
If it's been 50 years for Kansas, I'm still on that cruise. I got to believe that. I'm totally going for the Kansas gig.
Wow, don't feel rejected at all. Thanks. Wow, I voted for him, too.
Tom is going to go see Kansas. And Emily, that means you're going to be on the, you are welcome to join us on the KQRS Rockin' the 80s cruise. Congrats to both of you.
Thank you very much.
You got it.
Thank you. Most awesome. Appreciate it.
Yeah, sure. Well done, both you guys.
That was fun.
That was fun.
Good, clean fun.
Although the person that we rejected is going to be on the boat with us, creating an awkward moment.
Well, listen, I think Emily understands. She's a fair play.
She gets it.
She gets it. She totally gets
Even
it.
Even Emily's not buying a hat for a dog.
No, she doesn't even have a dog.
That's right.
But she's got a hat, though.
But Tom's off the wagon.
Jeez, can you imagine?
Yeah.
31 years of sobriety, right down the tubes because I had to sell beer in the shower to some strangers.
Thanks, Kate. KQ.
Man,
Thanks, KQ.
I can see. My name's Tom, and I had 31 years sobriety. I'm now on day 3 of my second round of sobriety. Really, Tom, what triggered you? I called a morning radio show and sold them on drinking beer in the shower, and by God, it sounded so good. I talked myself right back in. That'd be great. We got to write that scene. Rocking the '80s cruise. I'm excited. I'm not promising that I'm going to dress like I'm in Devo, but boy, I sure want to.
Give it a run.
I mean, did they make Devo costumes that big? I'm 6'3". I gotta get a, I'm just saying, I got to get a big yellow jumpsuit to make this work.
The flower pot hat.
Flower pot hat, yeah, that's one size fits all generally.
I did make an effort to find some parachute pants with the zippers all over them, go Loverboy or whatever. But
maybe I'll go. I'll just rock the Madge, the Madonna torn jeans, the leather, the ab showing jacket. What was the movie she was in? Susan.
Desperately Seeking Susan.
Desperately Seeking Susan.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, the Madge look from that one. Maybe I could pull that off.
Yeah,
be like the world's biggest Madonna.
A little bow on top of your head.
Yeah. I don't remember anything about that movie. Was she like the star, or was she a side character?
Arquette. So
she was a star.
Who was she?
Yeah.
So Rosanna Arquette or something
like
that?
That was Susan.
That was Susan.
I'll be honest, I never did really watch the movie. I remember being on at a house party where I was drinking once, but I didn't really, sit down and absorb it.
I saw that movie with a friend of mine who was blind, and she brought her seeing eye dog. Helper dog to the theater, and the puppy started to bark in the movie.
Hold on, what? Seriously?
Yeah, it was fantastic. I had to explain to her the scenes of what was going on.
Was anyone sitting right in front of you?
Yeah, it was a full theater,
and they were cool with that.
Yeah, and Amber the pup started to bark.
I'm glad I wasn't there, because I would have shown my ass to the world for being the kind of douchebag who, for no reason, do I allow noise in a theater when I'm watching a movie.
Not even a barking dog?
I lose my mind. I have very few pet peeves that are true. Like I cannot talk myself off that ledge. When someone's making noise in a movie theater, I go from 0 to 1,000 in 1 second.
What about when they eat the Raisinets and you hear this?
It makes me crazy. I'm done with popcorn before the previews are over, as a courtesy to my fellow moviegoers.
Or just wait till there's an action scene or something, right? And then you dig into the box of...
No, I've barked at people. I mean, I've completely created a scene in a movie theater on more than one occasion. Yeah. And then I become the bad guy right away. And not only to the other people, but to my own wife. She's like, what is wrong with you?
No, you're absolutely... I was just going to, I mean, I had the same story. I was there with my daughters, some teenage ladies sitting in front of us on the phone. Lots bright, right in my face.
Yeah.
After the 4th time, I just did the lean up and, excuse me, could you put the what? Oh, my God, an old man is talking to me. She started crying. People came in. I was asked to leave. And then my daughter's like, Dad, I'm not leaving. I'm like, oh
boy.
You're going to pay for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's a team game. Public altercations like that. You got to stay on the side.
For some reason, I waited in the parking lot for her. Not the other girl.
I was going to say, wow, she was right to be afraid.
No, my daughter. But I'm like, how am I the bad guy?
Great movie from the late 90s called The Ice Storm.
Mm-hmm.
Ang Lee, Kevin Kline, Sigourney Weaver, just a tremendous movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching it in a packed theater in Atlanta, Georgia, and there's a party scene where they have it's a key party.
Yes.
If you remember the 70s swingers, disenfranchised, ennui-laden suburban couples all out in Connecticut, and they have a big punch bowl and everyone drops their keys into it when they get to the party, and at the end of the night, it's swapping. You just grab a key, and whoever corresponds, you go home with that person. So it's a weird scene where neighbors are suddenly sleeping with each other's husbands and wives is the idea. And it's a very tense moment. I mean, it's not like this is fun. It's very uncomfortable for the characters. In the movie, you could hear a pin drop in the theater. And one of the characters on screen says to her husband, do you know what I think? I think you have a marker because she's accusing her husband of setting up a specific woman to go home with.
Well,
she goes, I think you have a marker. And from behind me, I hear this, what's a marker?
Oh, no.
And I turn, there's an older woman asking her husband, what's a marker? As loud as I'm saying it right now. And it punctured the mood. It destroyed the buildup in a way I can not put into words to this day. I spun around, hurt my neck. I spun around so aggressively. And I looked at her, and she gave me a look like, what's your problem? And I said, are you talking to me? And she said, no. I said, well, then why can't I hear you?
Wow.
And everybody around me is mad at me all of a sudden. And I'm like, no, I sat here quietly. I didn't even let that fart out. That's how much I care. Yeah, I got a problem.
The only thing that could have made that more awkward is if you would have ended up with her key at the end of the night. You two crazy kids.
You're about to find out what a marker is, ma'am.
Your marker right here. All right. Well, we've been getting into some dark topics this morning, no doubt. So, it's Tuesday, that worthless day of the week. But let's lighten it up. Let's swing things towards fun. Who wouldn't want a magical wish-granting cat? Doesn't that sound fun? There's one out there. It's going to cost you, though. We'll tell you all about it at 8:30. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show for Tuesday, June the 22nd. On our Facebook page, KQRS Facebook page, we've got, dozens and dozens and dozens of comments. The question of the day started from the fact that a lot of people see stores like Target and TJ Maxx, as a laxative. They get to those stores and immediately they got to go drop the kids off at the pool. What are some of your bathroom triggers or other weird stuff that happens when you're in public? There's a lot of comments on the Facebook page. You can also give us a shout at 651-989-ROCK, the Maple Grove Lock and Safe Talk and text line. You can text if you don't feel like talking about these sort of things. Somebody, I'm just looking, there's so many comments. It's hard to even know where to start. Go ahead. What
you see Michelle's on here?
No.
Every time she goes into a second-hand store, she thinks it's something about the smell in there, but it triggers a bowel movement for her.
And by the way, and I like someone followed up with, guilty. Like me too. The second-hand store smell.
Yeah.
Just gives, I don't know, maybe it reminds you of Grandma's house when it was all just so easy to poo when I was a kid at Grandma's. I don't know.
I don't remember Todd doing one of our game shows, but we do so many damn game shows. Todd said when he was on the KQ game show, immediately on hold, boom. The bowel dropped. It's time to go. He got excited.
I'd like to think that I have that effect on the ladies.
This text just came in. Not a big box store thing, but every time I get poked in my belly button, I instantly have to poop.
Oh, okay.
What?
Boy,
like a little doll.
I mean, post that on Facebook, but don't let anyone in your actual life know that.
Right.
My God, I'd never stop poking that poor kid. Hey, man, where you been? Bathroom, really? You want to go again? Poke.
Boop.
It's like living with Poppin' Fresh. Who could stop poking little Poppin' Fresh if he lived in your house?
Jealous.
Just want to hear that little laugh. Yeah. You're jealous, Candace?
Yeah, if it was that easy, that'd be pretty sweet.
That would be pretty sweet.
Dealing with a lot of constipation, are you?
Well, it's not easy.
You can trust yourself.
If you're backed up, maybe you could look to Gigi, your beloved pet, and say, "Grant me this wish, Gigi. Allow me the freedom that I so richly desire and deserve." Because I'm just saying, maybe Gigi. Have you ever asked Gigi to grant a wish?
No, I haven't, but I
might be worth a try, and I'll tell you why. Because there's a woman in Russia named Elena, and she has a wish-granting cat. She says, make no mistake about it, this woman has granted 3 wishes for its owner. 3 times. Elena has, she has asked for an apartment. She said, I need a new apartment. And then, boom, she asked the cat to help her. Boom, the new apartment materialized. Another apartment later in life materialized when she asked the cat. And then also a car. 2 apartments and a car came into her life after asking the cat for help.
I mean, mysteriously, out of thin air, did she have to fill out an application?
She just says the cat has got magical powers. She apparently asked a 4th wish. And that didn't happen. So now she's selling the cat to anyone who has $127,000.
What?
She's basically saying, you got $127,000, you got 3 wishes. This cat's good for at least 3 wishes.
Per person. Okay. Yeah. Is that how that works?
This is known as being what's the term? Bat crap crazy?
Yeah, that's it.
Or a grifter of the highest order, but she's literally selling a cat for over 100 large. It is a Scottish fold. I don't know I guess that's a type of cat. A Scottish fold.
It's a magical cat.
It's a magical cat named Vincent I. Vincent 1 or I don't know. See, I don't even know. Whatever.
So,
Vinny the cat gave her 3 wishes, didn't give her the 4th, and she said, that's enough. I've washed my hands of you, Vinny, for $127,000 or 1 billion rubles.
Right.
Never tried a Russian accent. Probably ought to stop doing that. It's not very good.
It's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I hate to be critical of her, but so she
free.
had the 3 wishes, huh?
Yeah.
And she 2 apartments and a car. I'm just wondering if you aimed a little higher, if you wouldn't need the 127.
Let me ask you this: if you recognize that your pet is capable of granting wishes and goes 2 for 2, is number 3 yet? Is it just a car? No, it's not just a car.
No,
it's like literally give me some Powerball numbers, give me a plane, give me something I can then turn around, give me an estate.
Get me the hell out of Russia.
There is that. Yeah, give me a passport and a visa and a couple other languages. Thank you very much.
She was just easing into it, honing the skills of the magical cat.
I guess she didn't realize
perfect sense.
Yeah, she didn't know it was a 3 cap limit. On those wishes.
Everyone knows that.
I guess I wasn't paying quite enough attention to the cat granting wish limitations. Sorry to say. There's also, speaking of limitations, we in America, we love our fast food. We don't care. We and by limitations, I mean we're selling ourselves short. We're not giving ourselves the longest life possible because we're eating so much damn fast food. 44% of Americans say they've had fast food at lunch. At least 42% have had fast food at dinner at least once in the last year. And that doesn't sound like very often. No. You're like, well, once, of course. But that is trending. That's leading the world. We eat more fast food than anybody. Great Britain, France, Sweden, and Austria also on the list, however. So the fast food industry in the United States, a value of about $330 billion. Yeah. That's 1/3 of the overall global fast food market. We are just, we like to get that food in a hurry.
You know what? I will say, if I can champion our fast food industry here in the United States, the finest on the planet, I'm only guessing. But, in fact, it's probably the fast food chains all over the planet, right? I mean, they're everywhere now.
Sure.
They've gotten a little better. I mean, they have some healthy options on the menus now. It feels like they're making an effort. I don't know.
They are certainly marketing themselves as such.
You go with the whole wheat bun. And you feel like
you're like, that's exactly right. The developed country with the least interest in fast food is Germany. And I'm not surprised to hear that. I've spent some time in Germany. And, like, you get food quickly there, but it's not fast food, if you know what I'm saying. But just like the sausage kiosks on the street, that is like the cleanest bratwurst you'll ever eat. Like there's you just get a brat on the street, and you're like you're biting it, and you're literally like, this thing was alive like an hour ago. It is. There's no preservatives in there. The meat tastes better. Everything. I'm a big fan. Germany, no one ever talks about it. I love German food. Like, you think about it, like, every now and again when I'm starving, I want to put a plate of German food together. Like, you think of it as like wintertime, put some meat on the bones. But just flat out great food, quality of food. You can do no better than walking around Germany for a few weeks and just sampling the wares.
It's odd that I would very quickly go to a food cart in Germany for those reasons you just discussed.
Yeah.
But not so much in America.
I'm
a little leery of the food carts in America.
I'm leery of everything in America.
But I do love me some fast food. No, I mean, I'm probably 3-4 times a week.
Yeah, I'm a veteran. I've done my best to come home from the fast food wars and just leave it behind me. Occasionally, I dip back in. But in the last few years, there's actually the pandemic, I think, is probably somehow along the way. Now that I'm looking back, that just once those ties were severed, I haven't gone back. Taco Bell, my drug of choice for years. I just worked through more Taco Bell. I mean, if you put the amount of Taco Bell I've eaten in my life into, I don't know, like the number of dump trucks it would fill. I'm trying to think. It would be nothing short of embarrassing. And that even continued after I read a book called Fast Food Nation that told me in no uncertain terms what I was eating at Taco Bell. I was still like, well, so I'll just call it slop. It still tastes great to me.
I think it was after the, what's the big McDonald's one? What's this?
Super Size Me.
Thank you. Super Size Me. I started eating more McDonald's. I'm the worst that America has to offer. I'm like, that's terrible for you. I must go to McDonald's now.
Well, speaking of McDonald's, there's a former corporate chef for McDonald's. I don't know what that means.
Chef?
Corporate chef. Maybe that means he's the guy actually making food for the corporate officers, which ain't quarter pounders. He's up there like, I've got the steak Diane. The mushroom sauce is a special today, sir. He's up there whipping up some 5-star meals for the corporate execs at McDonald's. But he's on TikTok with a hack. He says, I can help you determine whether your McDonald's is a good one or not. And I imagine you could do this exact same thing at any fast food establishment. He just is speaking of McDonald's. Here's his TikTok. We have the audio of him explaining, if you want to know if your fast food restaurant is up to snuff, do this.
You need to go into your local McDonald's at a peak time, so heavy lunch rush, heavy dinner rush, and I need you to order 10 quarter pounders with cheese, and you could add some, changes to those burgers as well. But if you could get your complete order in under 5 minutes and all of the ingredients or adjustments that you request are accurate, you are at a good McDonald's. If they cannot handle it, then it might not be the best running McDonald's. There could be other issues, but this is a great test to determine, is your McDonald's a good one?
Wow, chef.
Okay, couple thoughts real quick. You could apply that to a bookstore. You could apply that to a record. Go in at the rush, and if they get it right, they're doing better. That's easy. But as someone who's worked in food service, it's also called sadism, what he's describing. Like, it's bad enough to be working through the rush, but then when someone comes in during the rush to put a test to you, like, I'm going to order 10 specialized quarter pounders. That's the guy you just want to take a frozen fillet of fish and slap him across the face with it.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking just out of spite, they're not going to get your order right. I look at old high maintenance here at the drive-thru during rush hour, wants 10 different quarter pounders made differently. And, hey, like I said, I am the fast food man around here. I'll make no apologies for it.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine that most would get this right half the time.
In the golden hour, like, between 3 and 4 p.m. when no one's in there, they're not going to get it right.
Yeah.
I'd like a quarter pounder of cheese with extra pickles, no onion. I need another one with extra onion, no pickles. At that moment, I turn the mic off.
Right.
I say, just come in and order it. Look me in the face. I'm not doing this through the drive-thru, dude.
I will.
This is a tasty burger.
I will, on occasion, a little special order something like, hey, could you leave this off or whatever kind of thing. But if they get it wrong, I went, well, I ordered it fast food, I'm hitting the drive-thru here. They got it wrong. They just slapped it together. It's a kid going through the motions. I get it. You'd rather be doing something else this summer. But I'm not gonna be. I used to, when I was younger, go back in and go, there's ketchup. I clearly asked for no ketchup. But now it's like, well, every once in a while they get it right, and otherwise, I'm taking what they're selling.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You got to lower the bar a little bit. You are at a that whole joke, sir, this is a Wendy's. No, really, it's a Wendy's. Chill, okay? That's what it is. Are you familiar with the show on Netflix called I Think You Should Leave?
No.
The Tim Robinson sketch comedy show. It's so bizarre and hilarious, but there's one, I just saw the trailer. He pulls up to the fast food window and he says, hey, I tell you what, I'm going to see if I can get a pay it forward chain. I'll pick up the order for the guy behind me too. And the clerk at the window's like, oh, that's really nice, thanks. And so then he races around to the window again, thinking that'll turn into a snowball effect. Everyone's going to pick up the order behind them.
Yeah.
And then he orders like 136 cheeseburgers. And he's going to, because he's trying to stick the person in front of him with the giant food order. That's just good stuff. That's what I think. Everybody who's trying to the whole pay it forward. Every time I see someone do that, I'm like, how about putting it in the tip jar?
Yeah.
Jerk.
Yeah.
What about the guy who's working for scraps and getting yelled at and having coffee spilled spilled on him all day. Give him a tip.
Yeah.
Pay it forward. The guy behind you can afford a $9 latte.
Right, and they're all sitting there, watching you. Get the person behind me. I'm too much of a cynic. I'm going to break that line every time.
Hey, listen, this is something that's absolutely cynic-free. Free gas for a year. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. And if you listen to this radio station, KQRS, at 9, 2, and 5 on weekdays, we're going to give you a keyword to text that'll help you. If you get in there first, you'll win $92.50 in free gas. Plus, you'll be entered into the contest that could bring you free gas for a year. Oh, and also, you'll get tickets to an upcoming show at the Medina Entertainment Center. This giveaway is sponsored by Body Gastroenterology and Quick Trip. I mentioned that we're doing it at 9, 2, and 5, and oh, hey, look, 9 is almost upon us.
It's the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show for Tuesday, June the 27th. Check this out. We are giving you an opportunity to possibly win free gas for a year. And right now, on the Maple Grove Lock and Safe Talk and Text line, text STATION, the word STATION, to 651-989-ROCK for a chance to win $92.50 in free gas, tickets to an upcoming show at the Medina Entertainment Center, plus a shot at free gas, yes, for a year. Text STATION to 651-989-ROCK right now. This giveaway sponsored by Body Gastroenterology, prize provided by Quick Trip and the Medina Entertainment Center. Bing, bang, boing.
God, I'm just thinking, if I was in my 20s, when I was really, really broke, hanging out with my really, really broke friends,
right?
That almost might have been a curse, because everybody would have been like, come on, man, you give me a couple of gallons of gas, Zap.
Oh, sure.
You can free up a couple of gallons for a brother, can't you? Or you'd all pull in with your motorcycles, and they'd look at you like, what? You're not going to, oh, okay, whatever.
No, it's just like I say now. When I won that Powerball, I never told anybody. You just got to keep it. You got to keep a lid on it. Go pretend everything's normal. Just go about your business. Don't tell anyone you got all those millions.
You sly fox.
You know how that works. Boy, oh boy! Every day it seems, at least once a week, we have some story about a new development in artificial intelligence, AI. It seems like it's taken over the world, and we're not sitting here saying get off our lawn necessarily, but we're starting to think about sitting here saying get off our lawn. It's getting a little weird. I mean, there's a DJ in Oregon. There's an on-air personality at a radio station who's allowing AI to run her segments for her. I mean, and she's like, isn't this cool? And the answer is no. No, it's not cool at all. It's not the same thing. AI will never write a compelling screenplay. It will never write a compelling song. I don't care. And if I ever hear a song and I think it's beautiful and amazing and someone says AI wrote it, I'm going to jump off a bridge. Okay? Oh, baby's got
wonderful.
back.
I don't need no condoms. Was that one of the lines in there?
Yeah.
Probably.
And the baby's got the bum like that.
Man,
so good.
Dude, what a time to be alive, can I just say, when that song came out. It was lots of dances in my kitchen with my friends washing dishes to that song.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just one of those songs where you just know every word instantly, like it was ingrained in my brain before it even came out.
What do you think of the King's version there, Candace?
I love it. It was hot.
Did you ever break any dishes while you were... Well,
my big butt?
Well, no, I didn't suggest your butt. I'm just saying while you're getting into it in there.
Yeah,
doing the
for
dishes.
sure.
It's called going Greek. No, they break the dishes, I'm saying. No, get your filthy mind. Whoop-a! Speaking of, wait, sorry, Zep, go ahead.
I was just going to very quickly for our listeners. They're like, where can I track that down? I've already received a couple of messages this morning. It's a YouTube site called There, I Ruined It. I just listened to another one there during the commercial break where he, I think it was Michael Jackson's Thriller, but he asked AI to replay Thriller with emphasis on the loudest vocal elements first. It's weird. So then AI redoes the entire song Thriller with the all that stuff in there first. It's mind-boggling.
That's pretty mind-boggling. Also mind-boggling. Today we discussed the fact that apparently if you're the kind of person who goes to your favorite store, let's say it's a TJ Maxx, and find yourself with a strong urge to have a bowel movement, you are anything but alone. This is a very common thing, apparently. Stores have what is called a laxative effect. This doesn't happen to me, so I'm sorry. I can't help but wonder, like, what is it about the TJ Maxx? Like, I've been in a TJ Maxx, and almost always near the front of the store there's luggage. There's and I'm just picturing someone being like, oh well, that's not a knockoff. That's that shoulder bag. That's actually the brand, and it's only $49. Oh my, where's the bathroom? Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and then they're running through the store. Is that how it goes?
Yes.
That's it. I love the fact that Candace is very declarative. Yes.
It always happens to me in the stores that are the small stores. Like I had an emergency situation at the Fetus once, and
the electric fetus.
Yes,
the
electric fetus.
Yeah.
Little vintage shops. It's like the things that really brighten me up.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it happens.
Little boutiques, the last place you'd probably want to go.
Yeah,
right. Because the bathrooms are always in an awkward spot. I'm remembering a time where I've talked about it on the air. I drank some water out of the stream, and I got a parasite. All right, from deer poop. All right, I drank deer poop apparently, and I got a parasite. And I spent that summer just pooping my guts out. And when you had to go, you had to go.
That summer.
That's like 3 or 4 months. I kept thinking it'll pass.
Lord.
I just, I'd take a little, Pepto-Bismol or something like that, and I thought, it'll go away. It'll
get
pass.
some acidophilus, bro.
I know.
Savage.
I took too long. I just, just a dumbass. But I, when it was time to go, when the parasite said it's time to go, it's time to go.
Sure.
And I'm tooling around. Of course, I take a road trip, with a parasite. And I'm on the road going through a little small town. It's time to go. There's one option. There's the convenience store, the little town pump. Here I come. I wheel in there. I go running inside. There's the cashier at the counter, the register. There's me.
Stop.
Yeah. And the bathroom door, the cashier could almost touch it if they just held out their left hand. The door was right there by the counter.
Yeah, it was.
I had a microsecond to go. I'm so sorry. I didn't even say anything, but I'm like, I'm sorry for what's about to happen.
Should have at least bought some gum.
I didn't buy anything. I went in there.
No, that's not going to seal it up.
I kid you not. It sounded much like we just listened to from the Dumb and Dumber movie. So then there was that. And then, of course, I don't know if you've ever had a parasite. It comes with a pretty foul stench.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do? I opened the door. I didn't make eye contact. I'm like, sorry for ruining your day, but just bolted right out of the store. You're right, Tony. I should have. Hey, what's good? What do you got here?
What's good here?
Are there any microwave burritos left? I got food poisoning, or maybe it was a parasite. I ate something twice in my life that did me in for days, both out of the country. One was in Argentina and one was in Portugal. And the Portugal situation, it was the morning, and then I got on a flight and flew to the Netherlands. And on that flight, I'm thinking, something's going real wrong in my stomach here. And I was able to make it to the airport, made it to the hotel. But then the next few days were absolutely miserable. And what I remember about it specifically was it was the day that John F. Kennedy Jr.'s plane went down. Remember John F. Kennedy Jr. and his wife? He was flying his own plane off Martha's Vineyard, and he got lost. Hazy day, and he put it in the drink. While they were searching, that was the news story of the day. And I remember I got to my hotel, and when I left Portugal, I was like, hey, John F. Kennedy's missing. That's a terrible story. And by the time I was at my hotel room hours later, I was like, I don't care. I don't care. Whatever. I mean, I was just in a complete state of misery. And it was a week. That was 7 days. A whole summer, I cannot imagine.
Yeah, no, it was, my daughter's still talking. I went to a Tom Petty concert with Taylor. She's like, remember that when you just kept going to the bathroom between every song? And
family memories.
Just thought sweet. I would, power through the parasite. You don't power through a parasite. I like Nancy's on the KQ Facebook page here. It's not quite exactly what we're talking about, but the doors on the bathroom stalls are her trigger, she says, because she doesn't like the fact that people can see in there. Do you ever do that when you're in there? Kind of, what's going on out there? You're looking through the cracks. She's worried about people looking in, and that upsets her.
Yeah, I can see that.
Who's looking in?
Well, nobody that you want to see looking in on. I mean, the person who's looking in, it's always. I mean, I hate when you got to look under it, is just see if you see feet, in a bathroom dolls.
Yeah.
I feel like that's even I would hate to be seen checking. Like, it's just rude.
Fall.
And then I'm like, well, just leave. That's why you leave the stall door open when you leave, because then you don't want to make someone like me have to bend over like a weirdo.
Right. To be fair to Nancy, by the way, this was a guy that came in.
Well, then that's a whole,
He was cleaning. We're back to the janitor again.
See, there you go.
The janitor say and he was checking the stalls to see if anyone was in there, and he was peeking in the cracks.
Here's a quote, Jill, on the Facebook page. Just a public trigger, not a bathroom thing. The other day I was leaving Walmart, pushing my cart and staying to the right because I'm not in England. Woman entering was blocking my way, looked at me like I was in her way. I said I can't get any further to the right. I yelled at a guy once. He was on a bicycle and on the sidewalk, and he gave me a big, like, get out of my way. And I said, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to walk on the side ride. And he kind of stopped and looked at me. I go, oh, no, that's right. You're riding on the sidewalk, you stupid son of a... Went off on him. And I was so glad I thought of it in real time. Hey, the side ride, that was a pretty good line.
Yeah,
it's called the sidewalk. Get on the street or get off the bike, dude.
Yeah, truly.
And by the way, my sidewalk here in town, bicycles all the time, and I look at them every day like, man, I just want to knock you over. They have a street for that.
Get yourself a little cane right there in the spokes.
This is a
send them flying.
sidewalk.
Yeah, exactly. They act like they own the street, and then they own the sidewalk. You don't get everything, all right?
How dare you try to stay in good health?
How about W. Joseph here? He says when he's doing home projects that requires planning, he'll go to a Menards or a Fleet Farm. And it's time to go to the office. That's his trigger. The old
really?
Yeah, the old Fleet Farm Menards when you're doing the home projects. That's his trigger right there.
Wow.
I get it. You get excited about getting some work done.
Sure. You're thinking about all the things you're going to do around the house, and then you realize I forgot the most important thing to do around the house. So I'm going to do it here at Menards. A couple of quick little stories here that represent the yin and yang of modern life, the good and the bad. You can't have the light without the dark, right? You can't appreciate the rainbow unless you have the rain. We all know this, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the sad reality right now in the world is that Gen Z, these little miscreants, I have two of them myself. A new survey of sports fans says Gen Z is not keeping up their end of the bargain when it comes to watching sports as a general rule. 80% of Americans between the ages of 18 and 26 are really into convenience. They prefer to watch sports on their mobile devices while on the go, and they see sports viewing as something to do as a part of multitasking.
Yeah.
Rather than sitting at home or in a bar with the purpose of the gathering to watch the ball game. The youngsters don't go that way. What the hell's happening to this planet?
I just, it's...
Yeah.
We've got a lot of content. You turned me onto something this morning that comes in 3 and 4 minute segments, and it's a huge laugh. I laughed my guts out. I didn't have to sit there for 15 minutes to get to the first laugh.
Right.
I think about that with Vikings games. I can't sit through them anymore.
Come on. You're a Gen Z. You're a traitor to your whatever we are.
Whatever we are. I don't know. I'll just curmudgeons, I guess, but because it's just, my God, it's like 3 hours, even if you cut out the commercials and fast forward through everything.
That's
what I do?
What?
I watch key plays. They have this thing on YouTube TV, and so you turn on the Vikings game, and it's in the middle of the third quarter, fourth quarter, something like that, and it's called Catch Up Through Key Plays.
When the devil comes, he's not going to have a pitchfork and horns. He's going to look like Brian Zepp. All we have left is live sports. That's all we have. They're taking everything away. There's binge watching. The news comes in sound bites. You get a Sports Illustrated. The articles are like a paragraph long now. They used to be pages after pages, and it was beautiful, and it was great, and I used to want to smoke a pipe when I was a kid. And look at what I wanted a jacket with patches on the elbows. What happened? It's too fast. Live sports are the only thing left that you can't fast forward to see how it ends. It's the only thing we still gather around together to enjoy. 60% of young Americans say they just don't really care to watch it live. They would prefer, like Zepp, to catch highlights later or wait till it's over so they can fast forward through it. Oh, it's so depressing.
I like the fact that you said that we all like to sit around and enjoy as a family. What are you referring to? Thanksgiving, Christmas, sporting events, the things that drove family. Here's what I remember about football games. My dad being pissed as hell for about, 9 of the Back then, it was 14 game seasons. For the games they'd lose, And even if they won, it was a little, geez, I'm just saying, It's Gen Z, they don't have time for that crap.
I'm not Gen Z.
They don't have time for that crap because they got to go do a bunch of other crap.
It's all crap. But we do a lot more crap.
If you're gonna waste your life doing crap, at least waste your life doing the same crap I wasted my life doing.
Yeah.
At least let's keep the crap on the same crap table.
Yeah.
What?
But, okay.
I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Anyway, you are freaking me out. You're making me anxious. I need to go in the bathroom.
What, you need to go to the bathroom. You need to watch a game in its entirety.
Right.
The only good thing about the shortened attention spans for the youngsters is the fact that that's helping soccer become a bigger sport because it's over in an hour and 45 minutes regardless.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's no commercials. There's no timeouts. You got 45 minutes, 15-minute halftime, 45 minutes.
Boy, I've watched them. It seems a lot longer than that.
Once you learn what's happening, it goes by in a hurry. I watch soccer games now, and I feel like, wait, it just started and it's over already. Mm-hmm. But that's just me. But anyway, on the good side of humanity, if you're ready for the counterpoint to kids like younger kids like my kids not having the patience for live sports, check this out. In Ireland, in a town in Ireland called Listowel, there was a gathering of people. They wanted to break a Guinness World Record and raise money for charity. They were hoping to raise money for Kerry Hospice and Comfort for Chemo Kerry. So a lot of people raising money to help hospice and assist people going through chemotherapy and cancer treatments. What did they do? 1,100 people showed up to set the world record for this, the largest gathering of people wearing full head-to-toe Dolly Parton costumes.
Perfect.
Nice.
That's rainbows and unicorns and blue diamonds right there. All 1,100 people dressed head-to-toe like Dolly Parton and all hung out together.
So much hair and boobs.
It's just and the makeup and the heels and just nothing. The idea of that just brings a smile to my face.
Have you seen the video? I'm watching the video. One of the guys lost one of his boobs. He's just walking around with the right boob.
Well, it happens.
Yeah, he might have drank the other boob.
It could be. It could be. But they're raising money for Comfort for Chemo Kerry, and boy, there's no better way. If you can dress like Dolly Parton and raise money for charity, you're living right. You know what I mean? You've made good decisions.
Yeah, that'd get me off the couch, I think.
That just excites me. And, because I'm just such a Dolly fan. And, of course, the answer to that is, well, who isn't? Of course, you got to be. What's better than Dolly Parton? Really nothing.
And now she'll live forever thanks to AI.
Boy.
The AI Dolly is going to be even better.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. I hate to say it, but yeah, they'll come up with a way to somehow. You know what? They'll just make her like 5'10", and then it's game over.
Yeah, no kidding.
Imagine Dolly Parton instead of like 5'1.5" being 5'10". She literally would. She lives in Tennessee, and they would vote her president of the European Union. She would be the next emperor of Japan.
Is there a blonde wig left in Ireland? That's a hell of a lot of wigs. How many did they have?
1,100.
1,100.
1,100.
I mean, they've got to be out of blonde wigs.
It's fantastic.
Right.
I mean, and Dolly, by the way, think about it. Like, she doesn't tour that often. She would go to Ireland right now and play like 9 nights at the National Stadium. Mm. Like, I mean, she's beloved all over the world. Any chance to talk about Dolly, I'm always going to jump on it, guys. Just telling you that. Fair warning. But there's other things we can look at in the world if you want. Let's go back a little bit.
Did you know this?
Hey, did you know this?
Okay, this is interesting.
This is interesting. What is it?
Sports.
Yeah. Music history.
Here we go. June 27th, 1940, the Brooklyn Dodgers, who famously played at a stadium called Ebbets Field, they had a very special night. On this day in 1940, it was called Jack Norworth Day at Ebbets Field. Jack Norworth was not a former Dodger great. He was not the owner of the team. No, he's a guy who 32 years earlier in 1908 wrote a song called Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Jack Norworth, when he wrote that song, had never been to a baseball game. He wrote the song Take Me Out to the Ball Game, having never been to one. And in fact, 32 years after writing it, when he went to Ebbets Field to attend Jack Norworth Day, that was his first ever baseball game.
That's incredible. I wonder if he regretted it.
The guy wrote the song that has been played at every seventh inning stretch ever since, basically. Buy Me Some Peanuts and Cracker Jack. He waited 32 years to attend his first game after writing it. In 1988, if you were alive in 1988 and even paying like peripheral attention to boxing, you remember watching Mike Tyson defeat Michael Spinks in 91 seconds. Mike Tyson was the biggest, baddest, scariest boxer I'd ever seen in my life. And he went up against Michael Spinks, who at that time was inarguably the greatest light heavyweight that had ever lived. He stepped up to the heavyweight ranks. Michael Spinks' professional record was 31-0. And he stepped into the ring with Mike Tyson. And as I know you guys remember, he was trembling with fear. Right. He's a legitimate badass world champion boxer, and he was shaking with fear. Did not meet Mike Tyson's eye in the pre-match stare-off. He was terrified. It looked exactly like I would have looked. And Mike Tyson knocked him out in 91 seconds. You've never seen a boxer, especially a world champion whose record is 31-0, so sure of his fate before that fight.
Yeah, oh, my God. Go to YouTube and just punch in Mike Tyson TKOs. It's about a 2-minute video, and there's about 15 guys he just knocked flat. I mean, men that were tougher than anyone we've ever known or met just to get in the ring. And one guy I love actually didn't even backpedal away from him. He just turned around and ran.
The worst is the first time Michael Spinks goes down to one knee, it's a body shot. And you know, you think like, oh, as long as he doesn't break my jaw. No, trust me. I'd rather get hit in the face and knocked out than be crumpled by a blow to the body, because you know that's just damage in there, man. It's like, anyway, Mike Tyson, just in case you missed the point of this, he could punch real hard.
The KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.